Since January, both of our churches have been busy trying to discern God's vision for us. And in each case, it's become clear that children and youth should be high on our priorities. I think it would be fair to say that our children's work is doing okay. We're not perfect, but it's important that we celebrate the stuff that we do on weekdays and on Sundays. Where we're really struggling, however, is with our youth work, with those aged 11 to 18. There's no shame in that. As we're about to hear, that's actually the case for the majority of churches across England. But wouldn't it be great if we could find a local church who's doing really well with its youth ministry and wanted to partner with us to help us to build our youth work? Well, how about I introduce you to a friend of mine, not this guy, but a friend of mine called Sam.
Amazing. Thanks, Rich. So my name's Sam, guys. I am the youth minister here at St Michael's in Stoke Gifford, and just want to tell you a little bit about what this minster is. So the Church of England in 2018, using their stats for mission, which is the stats that they take from churches about Sunday attendance, they took those numbers. In 2018, they realised that the number of under 16s on that kind of list, so that's anyone under the age of 16, was halving twice as fast as the adults, so over 18s. That number of under 16s, they looked at it and were like, okay, if a church has more than 25 under 16s, we'll put them in this box. This box had 903 in 2018. There were 903 churches across the Church of England, across the country, that had more than 25 under 16. So that could be babies all the way to 16. In 2021, that number was 396. Which is significantly lower. And so out of those 396 in 2021, they looked at the number and over a third of them were new wine churches. So they were like, okay, there's got to be a correlation there. So hence why this is a New Wine and Church of England partnership for youth and under 16s. So it's to do with children and with youth. Our minster is going to be focusing on youth, just simply because I'm going to be taking a hold of it. There will be opportunity for our children and families minister to do stuff, and if you guys want support in that, then that's available too. But the idea is that as a minster, and by minster we mean in the traditional sense of kind of a monastery monk minster, that would be a resourcing place for local churches. The model is as simple as being a scaffolding. So the idea is that we're not here as St Michael's, we're not going to be taking over your youth. We want to support you. We want to help you get some youth work off the ground. The best analogy we can give you is, when you have a building project to do, you put up scaffolding so that you can build the building project within that scaffolding. It means you can get to the places you want to. It means you're going to be safe doing it. That's kind of what the minster is. The idea is that over the next 3 years, which is how long the pilot is, we're going to, as St Michael's and myself, act as a bit of a scaffold, help you to train your kind of team up, to grow your young people, to support you, take you for a coffee and just ask you how you're doing. But also to resource you as a church and be like, okay, yeah, how can we help you? I'm aware I just said a lot of information all very quickly. So if you have any more questions, then please do chat to Rich or to myself. And we've got a lovely PDF if you'd like to read this sort of thing. But yeah, back over to you, Rich.
Thanks, Sam. That's really exciting to hear. But what does it mean for us on the ground? Well, with our primary school age children, we think we're pretty much on track. We might do some adjustments to Friday Club at Holy Trinity, changing the age range slightly and bringing it a little bit earlier in the evening. But the big changes that we're looking at are for the 11 to 18s. And there's two things that we're looking at doing, which we hope will be benefice-wide, that they will affect both churches and both churches will work together on this. The first is a group for year 7 upwards. And it will have some social interaction, there'll be some social times, but the core of it will be intentional discipleship. And so we're going to start that by running Youth Alpha within that session. And that will run on Friday evenings at Christ the King. But we're hoping that people from both churches will get involved in leading and being guests at that. The second thing is for those who are in year 10 upwards, and we think that might look something like a life group, a house group, a cell group. But the details on that are a little bit sketchier. We're still thinking about the when, the where, the how, and the who. The reason for that is because that will be something that's completely new to us at this point again. And so it needs new input. It needs people who God is calling to lead and help that group, to design it and flourish it. So that's our next step, really. Our next step is to say, if you're passionate about young people coming to faith and perhaps becoming to be part of the life of the church, then I want you to be asking the question, how can you help to make this happen? Is God calling you to be involved? Is God prompting you to get involved? If so, please do get in touch as soon as possible, because we need to recruit people safely, and that involves a little bit of training and support amongst other things. Please do drop us a line, and there's details at the end of the video. But most importantly, please pray about this. Let's ask God to guide us as we build up the youth work in our churches and our benefice.